Welcome to the Murali End. My name is Mark Machado, and tragically, I am a Sri Lanka cricket fan. I say tragically because today felt like one of the worst days to be a Sri Lanka cricket fan. Thank you for joining us. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like. We are talking about Sri Lanka's quite tragic loss to Zimbabwe, lost with a whimper. I'm joined by Madhushka Balasuria, who you might know from ESPN Cricket Info. He's one of the kind of main Sri Lanka writers there, alongside and a number of his other colleagues. He has the fortune of covering these events. Madhushka, I'll come to you straight away. What's your thoughts on what we witnessed minutes ago?
First up, so today, so I've been a bit under the weather. So Fidel was actually covering the game. So it was my off day. So I was like, oh yeah, let's actually enjoy the game. And then I think I missed the first 20 minutes because I was just doing something else. And
all the action.
I was like, oh my god, what has gone down? Then I saw the wickets, and it was kind of clear what had happened. So obviously, this wicket was not what anybody expected. I think the commentators on air were talking about how they were expecting it to be a 170 wicket, but clearly the ball wasn't really coming onto the bat. We already know the boundaries in Harare are awkwardly positioned, so some of the more traditional shots that our guys like to play, maybe it won't go for. Zimbabwe have been a very good fielding side as of late, especially this tour. So they kept things tight. I mean, Ngaraba and Muzarabani have been excellent right throughout. So they've been tough to get away in most of the game. So I think where it probably went wrong, and this is my constant gripe with Sri Lankan cricket, is when things don't go, when plan A doesn't work out, there's really no adjustment that is taking place on the fly. That isn't, or at least there doesn't seem to be, because I do not understand how you lose your two openers and then you essentially get Kamil Mishara and Nuanidu Fernando to do the rebuild when they've literally just been brought in to play like they're, I mean, okay, Nuanidu's playing his third T20, right? And Kamil's on debut, and you're just like, this is a lot. This is a lot for seasoned players, you know. Excuse me, sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
Was that Roman Reigns' theme as your favorite?
Yeah, that was Roman Reigns' theme. Good spot.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the original, the OTC theme. So yeah, I feel like there was a little bit of maybe they could have sent Asalanka up the order. Maybe they could have sent Kamidu because he was in form, so for a little counter-attacking knock. And I think the template for early wickets in a T20 and fighting back, if you look at the Asia Cup final 2022, what did we do? Yes, obviously we had Barnacle who played such an amazing knock, but we used one into the floater who came in, quick cameo, turned the game on its head, and then it allowed everyone else to kind of piggyback off that. So I feel like maybe we missed a trick. I hope they identify that.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want is platitudes like, oh, the batters need to take more responsibility, and I'm just like, you're putting virtually two debutants at 3 and 4. Yeah. What kind of responsibility are you expecting? Like, yes, on a good wicket that would have worked, but I think the batting could have, and I don't think they identified early enough that the pitch was maybe not a 170 and just try to eke up to like 130, 140.
Yeah,
because if we'd done that, we would have won this game. Simple.
So firstly, let's reintroduce, now that people are kind of starting to join. This is the Murali End. We're talking about, it's our kind of group therapy session for Sri Lanka fans. We're discussing what went wrong, I was going to say what went right, not much. Maybe Chameera's bowling, that was the only thing that went really right for us today. In Sri Lanka's second T20 against Zimbabwe. This, of course, the road to the World Cup, right? If you guys want to say something, if you guys want to leave comments in the side, like Deekshana Praveen has done, he's just said, please do. We love that in the live chat. If you want to come on board and join us on on camera in vision, then please do. I've put the link in to join us backstage into the chat. You click on that and you can come on. We'll get to you guys eventually. What I want to talk about though, Madushka, right, is that there's a few, from my perspective watching this, I was very grateful that the follow-up game is in 24 hours time, right? Because I think you don't want to be overthinking these losses. I think really from a kind of performance point of view, you just want to draw a line underneath it, right? It's like for the players, they'll all be more gutted than anyone else, right? Pathum Nissanka was looking like a world beater last couple of times we've seen him bat, and today it just didn't happen for him, and that should be kind of all right? Like you can't be expecting your openers to be getting good scores, big scores every time.
Oh yeah.
I think that what it boils down to for me is it's kind of two things. Is, you know, we've been talking about the road to the World Cup. It's not about this Zimbabwe series. It's not about the Asia Cup. It's not even about the lost series to Bangladesh. It's about what we do when that World Cup kicks off for the men in next year at home, right? And because of that, with that in mind, I think I can kind of justify them going, right, we are sticking to our plans. If Kamal Mishra and Nawindu are the people who are at the crease when everything's falling around them, then so be it. If that's what the thinking is of management. However, my issue is that when you speak to people in and around the camp, what they're trying to tell you is they're looking for wins, and today they just did not box clever, and yet again, and we constantly keep saying this, is they misread the pitch. Like this is a thing that keeps happening. It's like a common trope in our cricket now, and I just want to know, there is so much cricketing knowledge and cricketing brains around that team. How do they keep misreading it? How are they also unable to like on the fly, as you say, they're not able to reassess? And I think for me, that's what I'm finding quite frustrating.
Yeah, I can't like disagree with any of that. I saw a quote from Ricky Ponting today, and he was talking about the IPL, I think, in general, but he was like, the only captain he knows that doesn't get help from the dugout is MS Dhoni, right? And I think that kind of gives you an insight into a lot of cricketers' mindsets. They do rely a lot on the data guys and so on, which in turn puts a lot of importance on the data guys. So we kind of have to, so you made a fair point, right? So they were going to stick with the lineup regardless. Good learning experience for both Kamil Mishra and Nuvanitha Fernando. Fine. And honestly, I think their skill sets kind of were complementary to the situation if they had adjusted while out in the middle. Because, so Pathum gets out, Kusal gets out, trying to hit out. At that point, if you're Nuvanitha, do you really need to be playing that shot? Right? He's trying to take it on the up, clear the infield. I think maybe you call the power play a dud and you try to reevaluate the pitch, because it's not easy to hit. And even Kamil Mishra, I mean, he had a runnable innings, but all right, so he had a peach. Like, I don't think so. I've watched him play recently in domestic cricket. He loves to go after the bowling. Like, that is his modus operandi. He is a very attacking minded player. So you could see he was caught on the back foot. He was just ready to kind of pick up anything that was on a length. But I don't think you're getting Yorkers the caliber of the one Evans sent down to him in domestic cricket all that often. And you saw that even the Zimbabwe batters, like the minute Chameera came in with a little bit of extra pace, they could not contend. They could not cope. But yeah, I feel like it's important for the team today to identify what went wrong, and sort of, because this happened at the T20 World Cup as well, where we got these drop-in pitches and the guys just did not adapt. And you have to be able to adapt to these things and, get those extra 10, 15 runs. And even though you've set a target for yourself of 170 or whatever, you reduce it.
I love
But
Benura Fernando, but I never want to see him bat. Like
yeah,
Benura,
or run after a ball. He's
yeah,
so slow, but I love him. He's on this sort of surface particularly. I thought he's an excellent option.
yeah.
But yeah, and the other thing, I'll just put it out there. I would like to see Chameera get a game here, because I don't know what this man needs to do, but what more he needs to do to get a game, because he is absolutely destroying the domestic game. He has been doing so pretty much since he was dropped from the national side a couple of years ago. He is precisely what you want if you just wrote down on paper what would be your lower order batter. Okay, yeah, he bowls a little bit of seam. He bowls cutters. He can now, he's upped his strike rate with the bat. He's a good fielder, and he's got that not, I don't want to use the word aura, but like he's got that competitiveness about him that you just kind of want. He's a bit of a Raza in that sense, like every wicket's like the last wicket he'll ever take. It's just he's so enthused.
Madishka, should we pause your thoughts there? Let's take on some. Let's get some callers on.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to switch. Let me put Nilan onto the stage, and then I'll take this off, and it'll look better. Nilan, thank you for joining us. Whereabouts are you joining us from today? And what's your thoughts on the game?
Pretty disappointed, to be honest. I'm joining from Sydney, so it's pretty late right now. It's like 1 o'clock. But
oh wow! I hope you. I hope your parents know that you're up talking to people on the internet.
Oh yeah, they do. They know. They watch.
Okay, fine.
My dad actually watches a bit of the Murali End with me.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Lovely. Right. So, how are you feeling after today's game?
Pretty disappointed, to be honest. You're right. Like, I was excited to see how Kamran Bashara would bat, like bring him into the team. And I was surprised they dropped Kusal Pereira, even though he hasn't been batting well. I didn't think Sunup was going to drop him. And then he was looking to be positive, but he looked like he was struggling a bit with the short ball. But then, he got a good ball. But in terms of the batting, it was quite disappointing.
You see, I think the thing is, right, when he was batting, I was like, for me, I'm always like, right, this is it. This is the next hot kid off the block. He's going to be amazing. Like, and when he was batting, I was like, oh, this is slightly underwhelming. But actually, if you look at it in the context of the rest of the scorecard, I mean, he had a good day, right?
Yeah,
compared to everyone else. I mean, he kind of top scored. I think in T20 cricket, we have to reassess what we think a good or bad day is. So we're kind of always you kind of think around 30 is a start, and then obviously 50s, and then we're looking for the hundreds. But actually in T20s, a run and ball 20 is kind of all right for your debut. That's all right. I think the two things that as Sri Lanka fans we can be a little bit guilty of is really underestimating Zimbabwe. Like, their players are good. Like,
yeah, that's true. They got a few good players.
Yeah, and also I think the kind of circumstances of the pitch, right? I mean, Pathum and Kusal are good players, and they were bamboozled by the whole thing today, as were basically everyone else. So I think Camel did all right. I think I did okay. Yeah. What do you think, Madishka? Do you think he's done enough to play again tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't drop him after one game. Once he's come into the side, because Kusal's a strange one. He did really well in the PSL. He played in the final. He did really well there. So, but around that, he's kind of been very underwhelming. Domestically, he hasn't been scoring the runs, and internationally, he's not been scoring the runs. And I feel like Sri Lanka, both with Kusal and with Avishka, these were two guys that they were probably the start of the year banking on them being the guys that will be in the middle order for the World Cup. And now suddenly they've had to pivot because the form has just been so bad. And clearly, I don't think anyone can put a case up for either one of them continuing. Maybe Kusal, if you think he can recapture that PSL form, maybe. But Avishka obviously is the big miss, because on his day he's such a quality player, but his T20 career has been, I mean, shocking is the word. You don't want to really fall down that hole of hyperbole, but yeah, it's been pretty shocking, that average and strike rate and everything.
I was like Nilan. I was really surprised that Kusal got dropped today. I thought like Sanath loves him so much he wasn't gonna drop
Sanath does
him,
love him.
and I can understand why Sanath loves him, right? And the other thing is, I think about Kusal is I think he's just a big game player, right? If you look at when he's really done it for, well, not just for Sri Lanka, even in the PSL, he always comes good in those big matches. So, you know, don't be surprised when we're in Ahmedabad for that final if he's the person who scores the big runs. I still believe, right? So yeah, Nilan, what changes would you make for tomorrow's game, if any?
I'd probably play Charmika Karuratne. I'd give him a go, maybe, and maybe give Welalage a game possibly instead of Dushan Hemantha. But I guess we do need the leg spinner, and we've already got Deekshana. Maybe Welalage for Deekshana. Give it a go.
Ooh, it was weird because there was when I think it was, I can't remember which over it was, when Deekshana was bowling, when he was running in, I was thinking, I feel like it's been ages since I saw him take a wicket when we've really needed it, and then he took a wicket like straight away. Obviously, it wasn't enough, but yeah, I don't know if with Deekshana, if we're really harsh on him, because obviously we see him bowl loads, and actually he still is quite a handful for batters. And in a way, whether batters, because they know that he's going to be difficult, they're not going after him, and therefore he's finding it a bit hard to get wickets. I don't know what your thoughts are on Deeks at the moment, Madushka.
Well, I think a couple of months back, I in fact I wrote an ode to Deekshana for Cricket Info, and yeah, I love him. I love him. I think the only part of his game that I would just improve, like just work on your fielding, man. Right, like get a little bit more agile. Like that's it, and that's something you can work on. But his batting has come along a little bit. He's not a complete liability. And of course, his bowling, particularly in T20s, I think. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Can you just give me 1 second?
Yeah, I'll remove you for a moment and take your time. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a big fan of Welalage as well, Nilan. So I think I would love to see him get a run in the side. What is it about him that you think he could bring to this team?
I just feel like when he's played for Sri Lanka, he hasn't done much wrong. Like he's always like seemed to contribute. Yeah, and he hasn't gone any game on this tour, so I've been surprised in the ODIs. And he has a bit of an X factor to him. I feel, like he gives us a bit with the bat. He's very fearless when he's batting, and he also bowls pretty good, accurate overs in the middle overs.
Yeah, and for me, and I've talked about this loads. For me, it's his mentality. He just doesn't seem to ever want to lose, and I think that's so important. Not saying that other players want to lose, but he's really he's such an aggressive type cricketer, and he brings so much. I'm really surprised.
Like Sri Lanka needs a few players like that. It's good to have some of those players.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like we have a lot of players like that, so it's good to have a few players like that.
Exactly. I'll bring Madushka back. Nilan, we're going to let you go. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Nilan. May I just say, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 15.
Yeah, I wish a lot of our fans had a little bit more of your sense. May I just say?
Yeah.
It was a very nice conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, Nilan. It's the nature of fandom, though, right, Madushka, that the losses seem much worse than they actually are. The wins seem much higher than and
I think that Sri Lanka has such a roller coaster. I mean, listen, we just chased down 170 with Kamidi playing an absolute monster knock a couple of days back, and now we've been bowled out for 80. So, and tomorrow, what knows tomorrow? What will tomorrow bring? Right?
If you want to come on stage like Nilan did and express your views and opinions, please do. I'll go through some of the comments that we've got. Dominic, who's away today, he's at a wedding. Congratulations to everyone getting married. All I have to say is ayo, of course. What a loss. Hello said, this is the reality without Pattis. Even Sri Lankan batters know this. That's why they get overwhelmed when Pattis got out. I think there is something in that. There's been some calls to play Kusal Mendes at 3. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Madishka? Do you think it's worth tearing up the only thing that really works for us batting-wise?
I mean, is it as bad as we think it is? Because, okay, ODI openers are different. ODI openers, generally speaking, you want them to bat as long as possible. But in T20s, we've seen the trials and tribulations of Baba and the Pakistan openers, where they'll bat and then get a subpar total, right? What you're really looking for in your opening pair is 6 overs of belligerence, and then from over 6 to 15, you keep that run rate going as well as you can, and then you launch at the depth. That is pretty much the template for a T20 game, unless the wicket is absolutely phenomenal. So I don't see a problem with dropping Kusal to number 3 if you are going to replace him up the order with, I mean, you could try Vishen Halambage. He's the obvious fit, but he's 20 years old. I just don't see this management taking a gamble on him. Because if you put him up there, you're basically saying that you're going to be opening for the World Cup. Because they got to give him some sort of decent run.
Can I read this comment? And also, Madishka, actually, last time I saw you in person, I think was the 20th of December, I think, around that time.
Yeah, around that time.
A few days later, I was in Melbourne. I was at the MCG on Boxing Day, and I watched Australia bat with an 18-year-old opener in a test match against India in front of 100,000 people. If Australians are happy to do it, I don't think we should let the age stand in the way. If that is... If age is coming into it, I don't know. Niz has written, I agree, Nawindu is more for ODI player. Should persist with Kamil M, though. Should have given a chance to Vishan. Yes, Charmak ahead of Dustin on current form. For me, so a few weeks ago, going into the Bangladesh series, I kind of felt like maybe it was a bit too late for Vishan to make a run into the side. Yeah. I kind of think that it's because of what happened in Bangladesh, to a degree what happened today as well. I kind of think that it's actually kind of now or never, as in, obviously, if he doesn't, I'm not saying if he doesn't play tomorrow then he never plays for Sri Lanka, but I'm saying if he doesn't play tomorrow and they don't somehow get him into the Asia Cup squad, he just doesn't, there's no chance of he could make the World Cup squad. I think it's just desperately unfair on him as a player, because I think there's this whole thing of the minute you debut for Sri Lanka, the pressure starts to mount upon you from the fans, like rightfully so. I'm not saying that's negative. That happens in every other cricket culture in the world, but I just think, I know Sri Lanka, and I know what I don't want to see happen, which is a very likely scenario, is that we stumble through tomorrow, then we stumble through an Asia Cup, then we stumble through, I think we've got a Pakistan and England series, right? And then what happens is we end up going to the World Cup with a squad that is half of the old boys are back, Dassan's back, Charmaka's back, Barnika's back, Angelo Matthews is back, Chandy's back, and then we've got on top of that, we've got like a bunch of youngsters as well who haven't played, and you're not going to arrive on the first day of a World Cup at home with 25,000 screaming fans in the stadium playing against Australia or England or South Africa as a 20-year-old and be fully formed. That is really unlikely to happen, regardless of how good he is, just because it's just another level of player. But I can see a situation with Dishka, and please tell me this isn't going to happen, where that is the scenario.
I mean, I can't tell you for sure. There is a non-zero chance it might. But I think, if you go to the side, so right now, who are the guys that are absolutely locked in? So you got the 2 openers, right?
Yeah.
So Pathum, Kusal.
Yeah.
Then you got Asalanka in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you have to have Chameera. If he's fit, it's Chameera for sure. And Theekshana and Theekshana and Wanidu.
Yeah.
Right? Theekshana and Hasarangaso. And then everyone else, your second seamer, your middle order, like even Kamindu, right? I like him.
Yeah.
I like him, but are you giving up? Like, he needs to improve his bowling. If he could bowl like Wellalage, I think he'd be such a phenomenal.
It's
option.
interesting because I think he should always just sack off the bowling and actually just focus on the batting.
Yeah, then you're just putting in a batter, a number 7, just an outright low order batter. India's got Hardik Pandya there, and you have to have someone who can do a little bit of everything there, which is why I think Sri Lanka missed a massive trick when it came to Wellalage. Like, how do you not play this guy in every game?
Yeah.
After the last World Cup, like you've completely messed up the World Cup. You've had a horror show. You've got a new coach in. You've got new selectors in. How do you not build around this guy?
Whenever I speak to non-Sri Lankans who watch a lot of franchise cricket, that is almost the first question they ask. It's like, why haven't you got Wellalage in every single? Why is he not playing every single game he could possibly play?
I feel like this is where they've just misused the data.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, okay, he's a slow left arm spinner, and he's obviously doesn't have the power game yet. But you had 2 years. Let him play. Let him develop the power game. Like, he's such a competitive guy. He's a gun fielder. Like, he's not a liability in any sense. Like I just don't understand it. And now again, like, you got him in the squad, but you're not. I mean, they're not going to play him, are they? Like, they're going to play Dushan Hemantha ahead of Wellalage, like, because they want a leg spinner in there. And I'm just I can't understand it.
See, the way they're looking at it, and I know obviously we can see that horrific football team sign just above your head, Madishka. But if you watch a lot of football, when players move, so for Liverpool, for example, when they lost Trent Alexander-Arnold this summer just gone, they had to replace. It wasn't just right. Who can we get as a like for like replacement for him? Who's the right back we can get that's most like him? It was right. What does he contribute to the team? What's his assists? What's his goals? What does he do from? Yeah. How do we replace that? And I think that's what Sri Lanka are thinking in a much more kind of linear way, right? So if our leg spinning all rounder isn't there, who do we replace him with? Where actually the replacement should be Wellalage every time. Because even though the spin is slightly different, but he's going to give you the wickets that Wani gives you, and potentially more runs, or as many runs as Wani gives you as well. I just cannot fathom the way they're thinking about this as well. A left arm spinning all rounder is basically it's a diamond in a cricket team. And then anyway, right? And then you've got somebody who's got the mentality that he brings, that he's like forcefulness and fighting, and on top of that, in Sri Lanka, we're massively underrating fielding, right? If we were good fielders today, that game would have lasted at least 1 or 2 more overs, right? But we and that's maybe 1 or 2 more wickets, and then suddenly, I'm not saying we would have won, but it could have looked. It looked slightly better, right?
Already, I think the fact that we managed to pick up 5 wickets definitely softens the blow of that first innings. It lends credence to the idea that the wicket wasn't the easiest. But I do think I see that comment now. Wellalage will get you more wickets than Theekshana. It will get you more runs with the bat, and also the better fielder than Teeks. So for me, no brainer, Wellalage for Theekshana. So that goes back to what I was saying. So Theekshana is a very interesting one, because what he brings to the table, maybe there is a universe in which you can replace Wellalage with Theekshana with Wellalage, but Theekshana, he almost guarantees you 4 overs of around 6 and over, right? And that is so invaluable, particularly in T20 cricket. And the minute you offer him conditions that are conducive to him, he becomes a wicket taker as well. And he makes every other bowler, I think that is the key. He makes every other bowler around him better, because if you have Tikshana bowling 4 economical overs, you have to go after Wanindu. And that's what Wanindu wants.
Yeah.
Right? That is his entire game plan. You have to go after guys, again, if you need like someone like a Matisha Patirana, if you had him in the side, you would have to go after him. And this is what Sri Lanka, I suppose, lacked today. I mean, they lacked a lot, but maybe a few more wicket takers were needed. So that is where Dushan Hemanta, for me, falls short. Like, I just don't understand it. I don't. He obviously can clear the boundary. I've seen him do it. He's a very good fielder. He's probably the best fielder in that side. He's outstanding in the field. But how are you not? I just don't understand it. So like I think we all agree Velalage just needs to find a way into this team, and then you figure the rest out. I think Chamika if you're not going to play Chamika and Dasun, which I understand why you wouldn't want to do that, you have to give Chamika a chance.
I want to bring a comment up here. Tikshana Praveen has said, also, how do we always end up here before World Cup? Unsure of our squad. Is it because we play too much cricket? I think, if anything, I don't think it's the amount of cricket that we play. I'd like us to see us play more cricket, but I think that's because I just enjoy watching it and obviously talking about it. My kind of wider take in the situation is I don't think you've got to kind of reverse engineer it. So you've got to think, right, how do we beat India in Ahmedabad in a final for T20 World Cup? And then how do we get there? Who do we beat along the way? How do we beat all these teams along the way? What do we need? Well, I think at the moment they're thinking too simplistic, where it's like, who are the best 11 players who can beat Zimbabwe today in these conditions? When actually, that, for me, that's the wrong way around of doing it. I've never worked in professional sport. I've never been anywhere near a professional cricket team other than an observer or in press boxes. So maybe I'm wrong, but I think we need to go, who are the players who are our match winners, and how do we get the best out of them? Our frustrations around Weller is that we all think, everyone who watches him, who's watched him play cricket for any amount of time, can just tell you that kid's going to win you cricket games, right? You can... and he has the ability to win cricket games at every single level. That is why we get frustrated about it. You can tell. I often, Madishka, you watch a lot more domestic cricket in Sri Lanka than I ever will, right? You'll know that you can tell which players are going to win you games, and which players are really, at whichever level they're playing at, they're at the top end of their ability, and which players are able to come onto a cricket pitch and really turn things around. Cricket isn't a game that you can teach yourself to be able to.
You absolutely
be
need to watch the talent play, because the data is not going to simply do it justice. So it's interesting. So like even someone like a Pavan Ratnayaka, like I watched him play recently, and like it's just the sheer confidence with which he goes after his shots.
Yeah,
it's like he knows like this ball is leaving the stadium. And I think technically there are a lot of technical flaws to his game that will likely be exploited by opposition sides, because you will just analyze the hell out of every new guy that comes in. That's the way modern cricket is. But he's someone that I feel like there is a possibility to step up. Someone mentioned earlier about Nuwanidu being more of an ODI player. I agree. A 120 strike rate doesn't scream T20 to me. Even in this recent domestic tri-team tournament, it wasn't like he was lighting it up with and just taking the game away. Like for reference, I think Patam Nisanka was hitting at 180 or 190 or something in that tournament, right? So like that's what you want. Obviously 160 is great. Kamil Mishara was striking at around 150, 140, which is also good. So I think if you're looking at ways to fit in players, maybe you don't play Nuwanidu. Maybe Nuwanidu doesn't get a game in the T20 side. Maybe you put Kamidu up the order, right? Because Kamidu at 3 or 4, I really like. Right? And I'm just looking at the comment now. Why not Sri Lanka better than
I'll read Shahan's comment out. For me, Nawindu is more of an ODI and test batter than T20s. Why not Sri Lanka bat at number 3 and Kaminda at number 4? With that, we can slot Charmaka and Wanindu both in the 11. I mean, like it's worth having a go. I think at some point, the thinking was Sri Lanka is a great number 5, and he was fairly consistent at it. I feel like in the recent kind of maybe weeks, possibly months, he's kind of gone off the boil. I wonder, that's fine. Cricketers come in and out of form. I'm not suggesting we drop him or anything like that, but maybe this might be the time to move him about. I'm up for having a go. Like whatever things.
Yeah,
whatever we think's gonna work.
If you can get, I agree. If you can get your most talented and your most experienced players, excuse me.
Yeah.
If you can get your most talented and experienced players in the top 4, I don't see a problem with that. I think you need to you need to have contingencies for your openers getting out early. But then you need to have guys who can come in and keep up that momentum. And I love the idea of Kamidu up the order. I love the idea of Asalanka moving a little bit further down because he can play both spin and pace. So that's the other thing, right? You want guys who don't have very obvious weaknesses. And Kamidu is someone on a good wicket. His hand-eye coordination is just so incredibly good, right? Like he will absolutely take the ball on the up. He can target different boundaries. He's got we saw the reverse lap he played in the first T20I. Like he's got the unorthodox shots. He knows how to work a field. He's athletic. He's quick, right? So I really like that idea, and I think it's something for Sri Lanka, like for Sanat and all to consider, because I don't see how we can go into a World Cup with Nuwanidu and Kamil Mishara as our 3 and 4.
I also, for me, 3 is like the biggest pressure position in the pitch, right?
Yeah.
In the lineup, and putting someone in with your least experienced player in, which we've done the last couple of games, is kind of a bit crazy. But
it's nuts.
It's again, I come back to Sanath, and the people who pick the team know a lot more about cricket than I do. The Ravine experience has talked about how Deekshana and Wanindu need to bowl in tandem. I think I agree with that. I think we're going to wrap it up today, Madushka. Thank you for coming on. Just this one final comment. Mark, you forgot about DDS. I didn't forget about DDS. He's always in my thoughts. It's his birthday today as well. I doubt he's listening, but happy birthday to our test captain. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know who I'll be back with. Maybe Dom, maybe Madushka, maybe both of them. Who knows? We'll do a slightly longer one tomorrow, I think, because hopefully more of you guys come and jump in and have your say, and hopefully we've got a T20 series win to celebrate as well.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that we've only got 24 hours to dwell on today. And
I'm just going to put one thing out there. I think if I understand Sanat's way of management, he's going to put an unchanged side. Just because, like, go show me something better. And I feel like that might be his.
On this pitch, I really think we should play a slinger. Because the pitch is slightly strange. It's doing what the batters aren't expecting. And just
will it be the same pitch tomorrow, though?
Oh, I don't know about that. That's a fair point, yeah. But I mean, I think today. So I should have said this earlier. I can't believe I'm bringing this up right now. But in my mind, if you've got the option of playing a slinger, so basically, if there is one in the squad and now we have 2, and there's more coming through, then you should basically Sri Lanka should always play them, like, because even though we know like Malinga debuted about 20 years ago. But still, to this day, batters are not prepared to play it. And a game like today, where you take a couple of wickets and suddenly doubt creeps into the opposition batting lineup, having that slightly different thing is, I think, is invaluable. And I think, look, I feel bad because Banura is one of my favorite people in the
You can't fit them all, Dom.
But
you can't fit them all.
You cannot fit them all, and I hate. I don't want to diss anyone. I think he's a great cricketer, but it's actually, in my mind, I see it as 3 different disciplines. There is seam bowling, there is slow bowling, and there is sling bowling. And if you can, you should try and fit all 3 of them in, if possible.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's
anyway, should we leave it there, Madushka?
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow. Please hit the subscribe, hit the follow, and hopefully Madushka's going to say we're going to have something to celebrate, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm very optimistic. I like this side. I like the team. Right, I think there's a lot of talent there. So I don't see them putting up 2 back-to-back performances like this. I think that will be improvements.
I like this comment. Mark is right. Like, I might have to screenshot that and send it
it's
to my
incredible,
wife.
Honestly. Like, I just had to say, it is incredible. There's no Velal again. There's no Matish Patirana. Like, how do you not have a slinger that bowls at 150 clicks? Like, it just blows my mind.
Why are we trying to give them a chance? Right. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. See you all later. Bye.
That's it.